200 yards outside the walls of Jerusalem sits Skull Hill, called Golgotha in Aramaic. It literally means the place of the skull. Tradition says that the mountain itself was shaped like a human skull. But its name has a much darker origin. It was a place of torture, a place of hopelessness, a place of death. This is where Jesus breathed his last. But he wasn't alone. The Gospels tell us that there were two others that were crucified alongside Jesus that day. And this is how Luke describes that scene.
Two others, both criminals, were led out to be executed with Jesus. When they came to the place called the Skull, they nailed him to the cross. And the criminals were also crucified, one on his right and one on his left. One of the criminals hanging beside him scoffed. "So you say you're the Messiah, are you? Prove it by saving yourself and us too while you're at it." But the other criminal protested. "Don't you fear God? Even when you have been sentenced to die? We deserve to die for our crimes, but this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus replied, "I assure you, today you will be with me in paradise."
Have you ever wondered why God chose to include these two unnamed criminals in the story that shapes all of history? Could it be that we're introduced to these two other men because we are to identify with them? That somehow we should see ourselves in them? The first criminal mocks Jesus with some of his final breaths. The second, from the cross, humbles himself, admits his sin, and confesses Jesus as the Messiah. So which criminal are you? The one who goes to his death with a heart of stone, refusing to admit his own disobedience? Or the one who recognizes his own sin, looks to the Savior in faith, and is invited into eternity with the Lamb of God? In a moment, we're going to ask you to take those red papers that you have and to come forward. You could find here nails and hammers, and you can take those and drive those into the cross, as many have done before. And as you do, repeat these words. It was my sin that held him back.